Is it sad that I can't even remember if I wanted to escape the first movie or not? You might say the memories of the first movie escape me. God, that was horrible. Hey everybody, what's going on? Today we are going to be talking about a sequel to a movie that I barely remembered. That would be Escape Room. Today we're talking about Escape Room Tournament of Champions. The only thing I remembered about the first one was it felt like a PG-13 Saw. It's like Saw if you took out where you insinuated there was violence, but you didn't really show it, and you had all these traps and everything. I also kind of remember having a bit of a crush on the lead, and it's still kind of the same for this one. But anyway, I have to talk about some things about this movie that might spoil it. So I'm just gonna say this. I had the same. Now that I see, I had to go back and watch my old review because I didn't really remember it, and so my old review reminded me. Oh yeah, that's this, that's this, that's that. So after listening to my old review, this one, I had this probably the same exact problems with. Also, though, I would say that I found this one even more predictable than the first one. And I do again, I got to talk about some spoiler stuff, but I'll wait till closer to the end of the review. So I'll just say this: it really, if you like the first one, you'll probably like this one too. Uh, I did enjoy sitting through this one, I think, more than the first one. But that being said, I was hanging out with my mom, and she likes horror thriller movies, so I was probably having more of a good time because I'm sure the first time I was by myself, and this time I'm hanging out with my mom. So I probably had a better time. If I probably would have been by myself, I probably would have felt the exact same way that I did the first time. But anyway, the setup for the story is our two heroes from the first one, Zoe and Ben. They're trying to, at the end of the first one, of course, remember, they discovered a place where they think this whole bad guy group is located. So they're going to go to it, but she doesn't want to get on a plane because that's the way her mom died. And so we see her with a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist is like, here's some things. What do you need to happen to get on that plane to move on with your life? And she says, well, I need to see the people behind this punished and behind bars and all that stuff. And so anyway, instead they've tried to fly to New York like 3 or 4 times, but she keeps not getting on the plane, which really, now I'll talk about that later because that'll be more of the spoiler part. They end up deciding to driving to New York, and they finally get there, and they find this place, and Zoe has, it's like a compass or a watch that was her mom's. Well, a pickpocket steals it, and they chase him, and they end up on a subway, and then the subway, they're stuck on there with like 4 other people, and that becomes the first trap room, and that's kind of how the whole thing gets started. We find out that the other people on there were winners before. They've won the game before. So they're one of the girls, the girl that seriously gives off the I'm playing the Amanda role from Saw. She is saying, so it's the Tournament of Champions, right? And she says the subtitle. So that's how they go. They have to go through games, and again, if you watch the first one, you kind of know where they're going with this. You have your characters getting through these games. Some may live, some may die, and of course you've got Zoe, who in the first one found some shortcuts. She's looking for shortcuts in this one as well. But there's also a twist on the games master as well. yeah, it's more of the same, really. There's really not much more to say. You've got characters with, granted, they've already been through the game. They all have got scars, some of them, literal, and they're all telling their stories. And from what I remember, the first time, I don't remember which character it was, but you had them. You were thinking one of the characters was like, again, like Amanda from Saw, where you know Jigsaw put her in the game to kind of keep track of everybody. You really think that about one of the characters in this, and it's a red herring. Um, and just like it was in the first one, again, it felt too much like the first one. But here's the thing, and this might be a little bit spoilery. If you have a movie where you have characters that don't trust anything, how can you as the viewer trust anything that's before you? Um, so you know where the story's going, and if you watch the movie and not trust anything, you're gonna figure it out. That's really a problem with this. Is yes, again, I was again I didn't remember the first one, so I was fooled again by the quote unquote Amanda type character. But once that played out, I was picking it apart. Um, and there was things that they were focusing on near the first of the movie. Heck, the first scene of the movie, after which, by the way, the movie does do a smart thing and recaps the whole first movie. It gives you because I was not going to go back and watch it. My mom watched it for the first time that day. Watched the first one. I wasn't going to go back and watch it. I read the Wikipedia just kind of catch up, and I was like, I kind of remember. I remembered the majority of it after that, and then watching my review on how I felt about it. But seeing the recap did help, so congratulations, movie, you helped out. That being said, you notice they're focusing on certain things and certain people, and that's where I know I'm not the only one that does this. I know a lot of people do this. The movie logic of if I didn't see a body, and that's something I didn't mention in my first review. I remember thinking when a certain character died in the first one, I never saw the body, so they could still be alive. And ta-da, it happens. Which again, once one character is out of the way, I'm like, oh, I know what's going on. And as it was going, I'm picking it apart. And the movie gave you too many easy clues. And I know this is a movie about escape rooms, and it's about finding clues and everything, but the movie made it a little too easy on the viewer, I think, to pick it apart. So really, there's not really anything new to this. If you saw the first one, it's a lot like that. And that's really all I can say about it. Now, I am going to talk about a big spoiler here. So if you're still with me, we'll talk about it. I knew how the movie was going to end at the first of the movie. And really, we should know this anyway. Because at the end of the first movie, they show the bad guys. I can't remember if it was a mid-credit scene or after-credit scene or it was the end of the movie. Again, I don't remember it that well. But it was at the end of the movie somewhere. And they show our games makers making an airplane, right? Testing an airplane out. You knew that's how it was going to end because you've got a character. Again, I've said it. You have the psychiatrist say, what's it going to take to get you on this plane? So then you get into the mindset of, I don't trust anybody. You know that person's in on it. And she tells them exactly what would need to happen for her to get on that plane. So then, when she finally does get on that plane, what a shock. It's a trap. I knew exactly where it was going to go. The first movie, made 155.7 million from what I'm seeing here. I remember in my review after watching it again that if it made enough money, they would get a sequel. I thought if they didn't make a lot of money, they might make a direct to DVD sequel or Blu-ray or whatever. Straight to on demand. But the movie made a lot of money off a very small budget. And that usually means you're going to get a sequel, and you did. And it's even more predictable in the first one. Again, I had a good time watching it because I was with my mom. I I was enjoying it enough. And I enjoyed the first one enough from, again, watching my review. I just got tired of the predictability, and that's what this one was. It was just a big old ball of predictability. So, while it's okay, I think I recommended the first one as a rental, and I would probably recommend this one as the same. It doesn't offer a lot new. Again, I think I like the same stuff in this one that I liked in the other one, and I dislike the same stuff that I disliked in the other one. So that's about it. There's really not much more to say. If you enjoyed the first one, you'll enjoy this one too. If you found the first one as predictable as I did, it's not any different here. You'll see most of the stuff coming a mile away, if not everything coming a mile away, and it's got its enjoyable parts. The characters are fine. Again, I still was kind of crushing on the character of Zoe like I was in the first one. But it wasn't. This movie wasn't amazing. It could have been if it weren't as predictable. If it was very unpredictable, it would have been a lot better, just like I thought about the first one. But anyway, that's going to be all for this one. See you later.